In this video, you're going to learn how to determine how much it costs to run an appliance in your household. So for this example, we're looking at an electric mixer that requires 125 watts. How much would it cost to run the mixer for a total of 90 minutes at a cost of 10 cents per kilowatt hour? So one of the first things we need to look at is the fact that this is being, some of the units of measure do not match. So if we look at, we have hour and minutes. So we need to convert it to the same thing. And because we're being charged on kilowatt hours, that means we're going to want to convert our minutes to hours. And if you think about it, how many minutes are in an hour? There's 60. So that means we need to take our 90 minutes, divide it by 60 minutes to change it into hours. So we want to run the mixer for 1.5 hours. Our next step is to determine what our watt hours are. So our mixer is 125 watts times our hours of 1.5. So when we multiply it out, that mixer is being used for 187.5 watt hours. The next thing that we need to look at is the fact that this is in watts and it's being charged on kilowatts. So if you remember from previous math classes, 1 kilowatt is equal to 1,000 watt hours. And kilo, K-I-L-O, kind of gives us a hint because if you remember, kilo represents 1,000. So the way that we convert that is we take our watt hours and we divide it by 1,000. We end up with 0.1875 kilowatt hours, and the initials kWh represents kilowatt hours. Now that we have our units of measure the same as what our cost is being charged at, we want to look at our cost. So our cost is 10 cents per kilowatt hour. And if you remember, per is a clue that we need to multiply. So we are going to have to take our cost and multiply it by how many kilowatt hours. So our cost of 10 cents times 0.1875 gives us a total cost of 0.01875. Now remember, we're talking money here, so we need to put it in some sort of money form. You could do this one of two ways. You could either put it in dollars or you could put it in cents, as long as you use the appropriate symbol. So if we were to put it in dollars, we only go 2 decimal spots. So we would have to round the 1 up to a 2 because the number after it is 8. And we would write it with a dollar sign, 0.02. If we wanted to write it as cents, we would write it as 1.9 cents because we know cents are in the hundredth spot or 2 spots after the decimal. So to check your understanding, we're going to take and we're going to make an algebraic expression using the same steps. So once again, the appliance uses W watts. If you run it for M minutes, the cost per kilowatt hour is C. Express the cost of running the appliance for M minutes algebraically. So our minutes and our watts don't match again, so that means we're going to need to convert the minutes to hours by taking M divided by 60 because we were told that it was M minutes. We want to figure out our watt hours. Our watt hours, we used W watts, and we want to multiply it times our converted minutes. So we're going to take and do W times the quantity M divided by 60. After that, we have to remember now, we need to convert it from watts into kilowatts. So that means we need to take our whole watt hours and we need to divide it by 1,000. And our last step is to multiply our kilowatt hours times our cost. And our cost is C. So we need to multiply the whole thing times C. And that would be our algebraic expression that we would use.